PPE is your personal protective equipment, and you are responsible for wearing it as well as maintaining it. Also, your clothing should be fitted. You should be wearing fitting clothing, not loose or baggy, because that can get caught in rotating parts. Also, you need to tuck in your shirt. That can get caught and snagged on things unless you're welding, because when you're welding you might have hot metal or slag that flies up. It could go down your shirt, and if that's the case, you want your shirt untucked so it can fall right out the bottom. Now we're on the eye protection. It must meet the requirements of the ANSI, which is the American National Standards Institute, and we're looking for a Z87.1, and that will be found somewhere on your safety glasses. You just need to find that and make sure it has it. You need to have them, not just have them, but wear them. This is not considered wearing your safety glasses, okay? You need to have them and use them. Okay, welders, their eye protection is going to be a filter lens of at least a number 10 shade, and if you are gas welding or burning, you need at least a number 4 shade. And then you have a hard hat. When you're working somewhere where there's work being done above you, you need to have a hard hat. So you have the outer shell, the inner web. You need to make sure that your hard hat fits tight on your head. You need at least an inch between the hard hat and your head, and make sure it fits snug on your head so that when you bend over it won't fall off. And this your PPE is going to be your last line of defense, so you need to make sure you have everything and that it fits properly and it is working the way it's supposed to. Gloves are another form of PPE that you will have. You need to make sure that you're not wearing gloves around rotating parts because they can get caught and pulled in. But we have different gloves for different things. There are some gloves you just use when you're carrying lumber. There's gloves when you're working around sharp, like metal, metal studs. Also, electricians wear rubber gloves, and the whole point is that rubber is an insulator, so it will not allow the electricity to pass through. So we need to make sure that the rubber gloves are have the rubber all around them. There's no defects in them. So how we're going to check those gloves, you need to visually inspect them. You need to kind of stretch them a little bit to see if there is a defect, a cut, or something. You can also trap air in the glove, hold the end, blow some air in it, hold it, and then use your other hand to squeeze and look for weakness or defects. You can also listen for air trying to escape out of a hole, and if it's defective, get rid of it. Leg protection. You need to have pants. Do not have loose pants. Don't have pants that are so long and that they're dragging the ground. So they need to fit you just right. No cuffs at the bottom of your pant leg. You just want your pant to go straight down. You don't want a cuff on it. No shorts, because then you have skin that's just exposed and can be you can get hurt. And then no sharp objects in your pocket. Sometimes you put things in your pocket, you forget they're there, and then they poke you or rip your pants. So leg protection. Proper foot protection is also important. You want to have ANSI approved foot gear, like boots. So sometimes safety toe is required, and that's going to be there's a few different types of safety toe. There's a steel toe, and sometimes there's a safety toe where it's made out of a material that's harder than the leather. It adds some protection, but then also there's a steel toe, and that will keep you from having your toes crushed from something falling on them. And you need to have a well-defined heel so that when you are on a ladder, your foot doesn't slip off. Skin protection. A lot of times we work outside in the sun. You need to have sunscreen. Also, you're around hazardous chemicals or substances, and you need to protect your skin. I know concrete guys a lot of times wear long sleeve shirts even though it's warm outside, because concrete, the chemicals in the concrete can give you a chemical burn on your skin, so you need to protect your skin. Hearing protection. There's a few different types of hearing protection. You can have ear plugs, which you're going to put them in your ear, or you could have ear muffs that just go over your ears. So if you are exposed to loud noises for a long time, you are probably going to have hearing loss, and it is best to take precaution and save your hearing to prevent yourself, because your plugs you put in your ear to prevent from getting an ear infection. Every so often, pretty regularly, you need to clean those earplugs with a little soap and water so that you don't get an ear infection. When you're in an environment that has a hazardous atmosphere, you need to have something to guard your lungs. You need respiratory protection. This is a form of PPE, and there's going to be 4 different types of respirators you can choose from. There's a self-contained breathing apparatus, SCBA. It has its own air supply. There's also a supplied air mask. This is going to be a mask, and it will have a line running to it all the way to a remote compressor that is pumping you fresh air from a different location. There's also a full face piece mask with chemical canister. This is like a gas mask, is what we typically think of when we see these. It's used when there will be brief exposure to dangerous gases or fumes. And also the last one would be something you could go easily buy at the big box stores, and it is a half mask with mechanical filter, and it's used with dust and other large solids. So it's going to be like a half mask, not over your whole face, but a half mask with the canisters on it.